life is to help more people be excited about Monday than they are about Friday. In other words, I help people love their jobs. See, I believe that the healthy balance between work and life requires that work have joy, fulfillment, and passion. Otherwise, why spend your life doing things you don't enjoy, working with people you don't like, and creating a legacy for yourself that you won't be proud of when you're 80? Does that sound like a good idea? I didn't think so. See, nowadays, we not only have to balance work and life, we also have to balance tech. I don't know if you haven't heard, maybe you live off the grid, but you love TED Talks, so you found your way here today. But artificial intelligence and machine learning has steadily crept up into the world of work and has been impacting the way that we do business. Some would argue for better, some would argue for worse. So much so that a group of brilliant business leaders wrote a letter to the president asking for a 6-month ban on the development of all artificial intelligence tools. Everyone has their story of when they first found an introduction into the robot revolution, as I call it. But I want to tell you my story and how it forever changed the way that I saw AI at work. It was January 2020, and I was heading, oddly enough, to a Future of Work conference in Seattle, Washington. Now, I don't know about you, but I hate long-distance flights, so I prolonged as long as I could and took the late flight out so I could spend more time with my family. But I got in at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, which meant it was 8 p.m. in the West Coast, and I was exhausted. I was hungry. I was famished. No one should have to live on peanuts for a 4-hour flight. So the first thing that I wanted to do was go to a restaurant, look someone in the eye, and ask my favorite question at a restaurant. Hey, what's the best thing on the menu? But what I found at the SeaTac airport would forever change my view of artificial intelligence at work, and I'll tell you why. When I got off the plane, I got to the airport, and the only restaurant that was open were the Golden Arches McDonald's. But something was different about this McDonald's, because there weren't any people. Instead, I was greeted with a kiosk to order my Big Mac and fries. And it got me thinking, if these jobs, which are frontline restaurant hourly workers, if these jobs could be replaced at an airport in Seattle, what would that mean about these workers and these jobs here in Philadelphia, or back in my home in Baltimore? It started to keep me up at night. And I don't know about you, but sometimes it's not our reality that keeps us up at night, but it's our anxiety around the future and what could be possible. See, when it comes to redefining the future of work, I believe that we don't give ourselves enough permission to change reality and address the elephant in the room that AI is creeping up into our workplace. Instead, we're all just living one algorithm at a time and hoping that our lifestyles and jobs aren't harmed next. Wait a second. It just dawned on me. I'm in Philadelphia talking about AI, and I'm not talking about one of the best basketball players to ever play the game of basketball, Allen Iverson. Talk about redefining possible. He took the crossover dribble mainstream and showed that the city of Philadelphia is rooted in grit, determination, and perseverance. But maybe not practice. Speaking of crossover, I believe if we're going to have a shared understanding of the place that AI has in the workplace, we need a shared framework and a shared understanding of what it means to really have ethical AI at work. I believe that there are 3 P's to the successful adoption of artificial intelligence in our workplace: profit, people, and purpose. These things are important because this is going to help us empower today's frontline restaurant worker to become tomorrow's frontline restaurant robot programmer. But first, let's talk about profit. Everyone knows that profit empowers business future. If cash is king, the profit and loss statement is the EKG reading that lets you know if your business is thriving or needs a lifeline. In January 2023, BuzzFeed made the bold choice to roll out artificial intelligence tool ChatGPT to enhance its journalism. Some people applauded the move, saying that this is the great step forward for seeing the creative brilliance of artificial intelligence on display. Others weren't so excited. In fact, there was a Vanity Fair article that was published shortly after the move, criticizing BuzzFeed for rolling out the tool because it had been known for errors, plagiarism, and it could result in being a misinformation superspreader. I wonder why we're so sensitive about that these days. In the end, or as this is developing, BuzzFeed not only took a hit to its reputation, but it's struggling to find and deliver value to its shareholders. Go figure. Artificial intelligence is not the savior of journalism. Only 4 short months after going all in with AI, BuzzFeed finds itself in a very precarious situation. Not only did they have to lay off workers and wind down parts of their news department, they're also seeing their stock price trade at all-time lows. We have to understand that if we're going to roll out artificial intelligence into our workplaces, it has to be a profitable decision. And if we are unable to calculate that profitability, it's not a risk worth taking. Now let's talk about people. How many of you have worked for an organization or seen someone say that our people are our greatest asset? Well, a lot of things can be said for employers like Walmart, but one thing that can be said about them for good is that they've decided to tackle this innovation of AI in the workplace and hit it head on. Walmart and Unilever teamed up with Accenture to roll out a pilot study of how artificial intelligence will impact some of the most valuable and most susceptible workers who will ultimately be impacted by artificial intelligence. Frontline, warehouse, deskless workers. What they wanted to do in the study is they wanted to ask themselves 3 things. Can we change someone's job so that they're able to learn new skills and be valuable in this new AI adoption society? Are we able to train new skills and help people see themselves relevant in today's organization and tomorrow's organization? And third, they wanted to know if they're able to hire, develop, and train a workforce that is valuable in their organization and others, not just based on a job description, but on key skills that will move them from company to company. And I've got to say, the results, they were inspiring. What this pilot study showed is that it only took 6 months to train a worker on how to leverage artificial intelligence and stay relevant at work. Now, I don't know about you, but if we were to train our workplace and give them 6 months to adopt for the future that is inevitably coming, I believe that we'll have more businesses that are a collection of people who embrace technology as opposed to having fear and anxiety around it. Now, the next 2 things that caught my attention have to do around job elimination and job creation. Through their work, through their study, they found that there will be 85 million jobs across the globe that will be disrupted because of the new relationship of people and technology. To give you a little context around that, here in the United States, there are 166 million workers in the U.S. civilian workforce. But there's good news. There will be a 97 million new jobs created as a result of the new relationship between people and technology, which means there will be 12 million new jobs created in the future of the work that don't exist today. So we have to make sure that we are leading people to the next step of the artificial intelligence revolution so that no one is left behind. Now, I don't know about you, but I think about my future a lot. I think about if the work that I'm doing today will ultimately matter in the grand scheme of things. I also think about if the time that I'm investing in the people closest to me will have them speak well of me when I'm gone. And I believe that we are at such a critical juncture in this artificial intelligence revolution that we are finding that artificial intelligence can make tasks, jobs, companies, and even industries irrelevant. I believe if companies want to be on the right side of this whole ethical wave, they should do something crazy. You ready to hear my idea? I think that companies should write their own obituaries. They should write their own obituaries because when is all said and done, there should be a clear North Star for how an organization wants to be remembered in light of this total transformation that we are in the midst of. See, we've got books, we've got studies, we have anecdotal studies of what people regret when they die. There's a really awesome book called The Top 5 Regrets of Dying that showed us the top 5 reasons what people regret when they die. They regret not having the courage to live the life that they want to live. They regret spending so much time at work. They regret fractured relationships. They regret not having the courage to express their feelings. And ultimately, they regret denying themselves happiness. As leaders, as the future leaders of work, in organizations, we truly need to think about our purpose and why we do what we do. Profit is undeniably important, but so are people. And so having this corporate obituary is a way to put a line in the sand and say where we fall in this new world of work. See, like my friend Patrick, who was involved in this future of work study at Unilever, he's not really my friend. I don't know him, but we say that sometimes in speaking. But my friend Patrick says, only jobs should be made redundant, not people. And I truly believe that there is a place for everyone in the future of work as we relate to technology that I hope will work with us and ultimately not for us, so that today's frontline worker can be tomorrow's programmer, business analyst, technical coach, and so on and so forth. Through upskilling, job training, creating opportunities for us to not leave anyone behind. I'm excited about the future of work. I hope you are too. Let's redefine possible and integrate AI in a way that works on an ethical platform for us all to have a place together. Thank you.